I think the super spinny shot where it bounces twice and then stops is super overrated because it's really unpredictable. Like anything where you're just trying to spin it a lot, like I don't think it's so dependent on the lie and everything. I think the way to do everything is control everything with trajectory. So like very high or very low. So if you're trying to hit something high, you know this, right? You know, you open everything up. Like, do you want to try hitting one? Like, yeah, perfect. Like open it, everything up. So like everything would be super opened up and like you're just, you know. Taking a big swing and like when I am trying to hit it high, I think long and slow, right? Opposite with if you're trying to hit something a little bit low, I almost like draw shot hat there, you do a little flip, right? So 굴러가려고 하려면 that's what I think. I think like a chip shot draw. So try something like that. Exactly. So I like this. It's like a mirror. So it's like you release and that's what I think whenever I want to 굴러 something, I think of a draw. And then if I'm trying to like 많이 뜨게 하면, it's like a slice, right? So like in my mind, you don't have to think about grip. You don't have to think about ball position. You just have to think, if I was trying to hit a 20-yard draw, what would I do? That's going to make the ball release more. If I wanted to hit like a little 20-yard mini cut, everything like your ball automatically moves forward in your stance and you know, you open up your stance. I think everything should be very natural. You should never have to tell someone, put the ball here, do this with your grip. I think if you just, I mean, even with young kids, when you're teaching them to hit it high, you never tell them like, do this with your stance and do this with your grip. You just say like, I think the best way to teach a kid is to be like, imagine there's a tree in front of you. How would you hit it over? And then just have the tree grow taller and taller until it's the trajectory that they want. And then the same thing with if you're trying to teach someone to hit it low, don't tell them like, put it back in your stance and do this. Like if you have someone do something like 억지로, it's never natural. I think the best way to do it is be like, imagine there's like a window right here. So just like practice until you figure out how to do that. And then I think your body will figure it out. I think if you can make it simple and athletic under pressure, that's going to be the best thing. Same thing with putting. I think the putting stroke is very overrated. You don't have to have a good putting stroke. You just have to have good imagination. Oh, look at that. And I think nice. I think as you get older, everyone wants to know, what should I do with my grip? What should I do with my stance?
Right.
But the more you can think like a kid, the better off you are, I think.
Yeah.
Those are all really good.
Nice.
Well, so what that tells me about how she's hitting it is she's using the bounce correctly. So because I'm digging too much, that means that I'm using this too much. So like if I was to give myself a lesson, I would probably open my face up a little bit more. And cause like, so I'll go this way. So like when it should never, that's a good divot. And this is what I'm doing. See how this is a bad one. This is X. So if I was to change, I would try to open it up more. So that was better.
Oh, much better, right.
Yeah, that was more spinny. And anytime you think about using the bounce, I imagine when you're like a little kid and you're playing in a pool and you're trying to like bounce your hand off the surface of the water. If you kind of have your hand like this, it's just gonna dig, right? But if you go like this, it'll bounce right off, and that's what you're trying to do in a bunker. So if you look at Tiger when he's, you know, doing his rehearsal practice swings, he like really exaggerates this move, right? And you ask any golfer and like they think that's totally wrong. But in a bunker, if you're trying to really shallow out your club and like create some spin, like that's kind of the feeling that you need to have, right? Because that's how a wedge is designed, right? That's why this is the bounce. It helps you bounce. Let's say you hit a really high shot and you ended up with like... So in this case, if you tried to open it up and bounce it, you would scull it, right? Okay. So let's say you have a lie like this. You do the opposite. You want it to dig. Okay. So like you get up there and you actually close the face a little bit. And that helps you dig the ball out. So sometimes you want it to dig, sometimes you don't want it to dig. You have to look at the lie and judge for yourself. And same with chip shots, you know. Sometimes you think like if your lie isn't good, you almost need it to dig a little bit. So based on that, you kind of adjust. And same thing with bunkers, like a high spinny shot. And then an instance when you would need to use the bounce would be like something like this. So you need it to dig. Yeah, that was so good. Look how much that's fun. That was really good.
Put it in the bowl.
Yeah. If you hit that shot, it's gonna run more.
Oh, it is?
But you don't really have a choice because the ball's buried.
Oh. Anyway, you need to
Like if you have a buried lie, you're not gonna be able to spin it. You just have to play for it